gamers, today we have exclusive reveal about the new, or not the new, but one of the units in Stormgate, the Atlas. I'm going to be showing you guys the gameplay, and I also have the human faction multiplayer music sent to me by Stormgate guys, and I'm going to show you that as well. And you can see already in this one, compared to the stuff we've seen at the PC Gamer Show, it's already looking different. You'll see what I mean. So this is when Atlas comes out. The only time we've seen Atlas in the other Stormgate video when it was already sieged up. And you can see it kind of looks already different than what it used to look. A little bit, right? Now, I'm gonna let the video play, then we're gonna go dissect it bit by bit. It does so much damage. And as you can see, there's a new effect on the ground, which is the blue flame that is left over. So, a couple of things I want to go off to get started here. So first thing, you can kind of see how it moves. Now, there's a hotkey for deployments. You actually have to deploy it in order for it to shoot. The one thing that I've noticed, I don't have it right now, but there is a picture of Atlas with different kinds of skins. Now, cannons, for example, like one kind of has like a bombard cannon, one has kind of like a laser, and they're all Atlas. Now, I'm not sure if these were just sketches for how the unit should be, or these are like potential future skins for the units or something like that. I am not sure. So it has a deployment that we've just seen, and it has attack ground. Now, this is a siege unit. So initially, a lot of people thought it was going to be like a siege tank where, you know, you just siege it up and it just blasts everything. But then people started comparing it to Disruptor quite a bit. And I think it's kind of in between those two. It's not as explosive as Disruptor, but it's not, you know, stationary and then just kind of can switch targets quickly and do damage like a siege tank. So it's something in between, in my opinion. But there is an attack ground command. And when I saw the first reveal video on the PC Gamer Show, there was like these circles are kind of big. And a lot of people pointed out like, oh, you'll just be able to run through them. Now, this is true, but there's always a but. So you see this ramp. So if I were to have like 6, 7 Atlas right here, and I put one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here, you're not going through that. You're just not going through that. So you are going to need to find different ways of dealing with them. And I can see Atlas being used in order to, obviously, you know, like siege up like below the ramp here and attack above. But I can also see Atlas being a unit that is used defensively, and you just put it in attack ground in one spot where the entrance is to your expansion or something like that, and just have it defend. I'm not sure how viable it is. So we've seen the dropship that Human Faction has. I'm not sure how viable it is to like drop them on the enemy workers and like try to explode them or something. But you can see they do quite a bit of damage. And this is what I mean. Like, imagine a defense like this with 4 or 5 Atlas shooting around the same area. Then we see this part, and you can see that Atlas can destroy trees. Now, from what I've gathered, I don't think you can destroy every single tree. I might be wrong on this. It seems that it's only the trees that you can go through. So these are the trees that I think smaller units can run through, and Atlas can destroy that. Yeah, they're like stealth trees. Although this forest kind of looks thick, so I'm not sure if units can move through that. But you can see right here, you can destroy them and then you can move through. Wait a minute. Wait, look at this. This scout wasn't able to go in until the trees were down. Yeah, these are not light forests, so these are just normal trees. Okay, that's actually very interesting. You can see right this moment, this scout was sent here, right? It arrives just before the shot goes through, and it goes back, and then goes backwards. So I guess you can destroy any trees, which creates for a lot of interesting gameplay potential, right? Where you can either hide units or create, you know, not necessarily run-bys, but you could hide units, wait for your opponent to move out and then come from the back. But also, I don't know if there's any mechanic that respawns the trees, or you can just clear all the trees on the map, which would kind of be interesting. It might be pulled, but yeah, it might be pulled, but if you look here, I'll show you guys another video later. In the stealth forest, let's call it, I think that's what it's called, stealth forest, there's like more space between the trees, like you can clearly see they're passable. But if you look here and look here, it's the same thickness of the wood line, which makes me believe that these are not stealth forests. We'll check another video, you'll see what I mean. So yeah, this is the kind of situation that I was talking about. If you had like 2-3 more and all shooting at the ramp, like look how much damage they're doing now when they hit. That's 2 shots. Look at the HP on that thing. You 3 shots them and they have 250 health, I think. Which is quite a bit. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys, the music. So this was sent to me. This is the Human Faction multiplayer music. Okay? Here we go. This is what's going to be, I'm assuming, in the game as you're playing matches. In my opinion, I like it. I think it sounds good. I think it fits the human style. And I wonder what they're going to do for the other one. I don't know what to call him, the demon. But let's look at the specific things for Atlas. So, unit overview. Stormgate's version of artillery mech, slow-moving, massive quad-like mech, carries giant plasma cannon in its back that it deploys to fire extremely high-damage long-range blasts, which we saw. Can alternate between an undeployed and deployed weapon mode. Weapon deployed mode. Fires long-range attacks, cracking plasma ball projectiles that are slow-moving, that we lovingly refer to as BFG blasts. Deals friendly fire. So this is a very important, this is another detail that is very, very important, because if you were going for some kind of melee unit comp together with Atlas, you can basically evaporate your own unit. So you need to be very, very careful. Now, I'm not sure what's the ratio of damage that the units take. Like, does it take 100% friendly damage? Does it take, you know, just a bit? I'm not exactly sure how that one is going to work. And then we got the upgrade, which is the blue stuff that you saw on the ground that I was mentioning earlier. Purification, Ordnance upgrade. I hope I pronounced that well. Impact leaves behind damaging plasma fires. Standing in overlapping fires will not double up on damage. I'm glad that's clarified. Modes gain this upgrade. I think this was supposed to be both modes. And deals friendly fire. Now, so this is going to be kind of like, I mean, it's a very simple concept, right? It's just burning on the ground. So this kind of makes what I was talking about even stronger in a way that you can do a lot of micro and pre-setup with Atlas where you shoot different areas. And not only it doesn't have to hit anymore, but it's long range and it's going to leave fire underneath. So the opponents, you know, if they decide to move through, they're going to be taking a crap ton of damage. So We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it works. Now, this is a very strong unit. I've seen a lot of people saying that they think the unit is... Yeah, let me let that one play out. I like music. I like it too. A lot of people said like it maybe seems underwhelming. I think if you have one or two, it probably is, and it probably won't do a lot, because if you have one, the opponent can probably dodge really easily, right? But if you have multiple, that's when the problem starts scaling. They are extremely mobile, so if you do that, you're kind of like slowing your army down quite a bit, and I don't think you'll be able to go out on the map with these and just dominate the battlefield. You're gonna need to either move out super slow, or you're gonna need a lot of units to support it. And because of the way that the unit is, I am assuming that there are going to be units that are specifically supposed to counter this as well, right? The rest of this as I talk about other stuff. So this is all the other info that we have right now regarding all the Stormgate units, the resources, and everything else. So I'm gonna go through that. So let's see what we got. First things first, we're gonna go through the resources. First look at Stormgate's two main resources, Luminite and Therium. So those are going to be the two resources. I'm assuming Luminite is, yeah, not assuming, but it's like minerals or food if you're playing Age of Empires. Primary resource, Gold Mound. That's what we saw the workers gathering from the gameplay video, which I'm going to show you guys after as well if you missed it. Used to pay for nearly everything. Can be mined by 12 bob. 12 bobs can work on that before severe diminishing returns. Now this is interesting. It says can be mined by 12 workers before severe diminishing returns. So does that mean you can't put more than 12? But I'm assuming that 12 is like the most efficient way. But if you put more than 12, you will still get value, but less of it. Interesting. I wonder if 12 can be, is the maximum number that can be attached to the thing. Because if that is the case, you never have 12 attached, right? Because there's always worker running. So that means that the most efficient way would be 15, 16, 17 workers on it. But I guess we'll see, right? Therium, secondary resource. I'm just gonna play music over and over as we're listening to this. I didn't put it too loud because I don't want it to, you know, overwhelm. Therium is secondary resource, gray and glowing green, mostly used to pay for advanced units and structures and upgrades. So this is like gas for StarCraft 2 or like gold wood mix for Age of Empires. Gradually spreads and enriches when unmined, providing players with strategic options about where and when they should expand. So if you guys remember when we were watching the PC Gamer Show, I told you there's like more info about the secondary resource, and this was that info. So gradually spreads and enriches, and this is kind of what they got, in my opinion, probably, right? From Command and Conquer. You know how the resource, you can gather it, and then as you gather it, it becomes smaller. But if you leave it alone, it kind of grows back up. I don't know how much this will actually be used, but you could potentially skip your main base Therium, get it from like natural on another base. I don't know how much you can carry. If you can carry a lot, you could go and like mine Therium at a random base, let yours get bigger and bigger and bigger, like, you know, larger quantities, and it says it enriches when unmined. Now I'm not sure if that means that you can gather faster, you can gather more, or it's just the amount that's spreading. But if that's the case, you might see some plays where people like go for super early, kind of like proxy Therium minings in order to bring it back and then go on their main base. So we'll see. Therium appears in various forms that each have different gameplay mechanisms, including exposed patches and underground veins. So it's not just you click it and that's it. Exposed patches is, I'm assuming, it's if it's you know, top of the ground. Underground veins obviously is underground. I don't know what exactly that means. You might need to destroy something, or might need to build something. I have no idea. But there is going to be obviously interesting mechanics with it, and there's going to be some testing done. What's the most optimal and efficient way how to do stuff. In the interview, they said mining is like this. One worker will mine, for example, 100. Second will mine 95. Third, 90 per minute. Okay, cool. Now, one thing that I don't know, so obviously Ethereum is expiring. Is Luminite expiring? I'm assuming it is, right? Because otherwise we would have like infinite games probably. Featured human units. B.O.B. Smiley face robot workers who harvest resources, build structures, repair mechanical units, and even muster solid defense in a pinch. Now, we have seen that they have an ability, or that I think it was the command post, which is the command center or town center, has an ability which I think is like call to arms from humans from Warcraft 3. In the gameplay videos that we saw at the PC Gamer show, they kind of start glowing and then they start fighting. So it seems like you will be using workers defensively to fight. They will either gain a little bit of stats or something, I'm not sure. But there it is. Multiple B.O.B units can work together to build a structure. This is something I've also mentioned, that I am assuming that this is only going to be human faction thing. I don't think that every faction that Stormgate gets will be the same, right? Other faction, like second faction that they also announced, the demons, or infernals, can't remember what they're called. They might like consume a worker, kind of like Zerg, we don't know. But I would be very surprised if every faction has the same way of building stuff. S.C.O.U.T. These robot dogs with laser eyes have heightened senses that can even identify the presence of enemies still concealed by the fog of war. With a warning howl, scouts can activate ocular scanners to temporarily see further, including through forests that would normally block their vision. So it seems that they're very big on scouting and having the correct information and not to be surprised. So it seems that if you can use scouts efficiently, if you can use them correctly, you can probably, just kind of be able to have more strategic choices instead of getting surprised and your whole army evaporating or something like that. So that's going to be pretty important. And this kind of reminds me of AoE 4 scouts, where it's incredibly important to keep them alive as long as possible because the value you get from vision is incredible. So next one, Lancer. Lancers are the melee units, the tier 1 melee unit that we have seen in the video. The Lancer shield upgrade, so they're frontline soldiers with long reach. The Lancer shields upgrade gives them the ability to shrug off damaging blows. It seems that even though they are tier 1, they will be able to sustain and tank a lot more than normally tier 1 units. Tier 1 units too. Exo, this is the Marine. Can pick up double time upgrade to temporarily increase its movement speed. If it shoots during this period, it fires 2 shots instead, then reverts to normal speed. So this is going to be, I guess, something that you can use to quickly catch up to like Atlas and snipe it or something like that, or to run away, reposition. A lot of people said this was like, oh, it's just stim, but it's completely different than stim. So this won't increase your attack speed. This increases your movement speed, and then if you shoot, you basically break the ability. You revert back to normal speed, but you shoot 2 shots instead. So you're not going to activate this while fighting, right? And then stand there or something. Medtech. Have to support a unit that can heal and repair allies and enhance nearby forces. With Medtech, adept training can unleash a swarm of nanobots to either attack an enemy or heal an injured ally. Wait, so this will heal and repair. I don't see this not being a must-have in your army, simply because it can heal and repair. And I saw the range in one of the gameplay videos. It seems like it's pretty long range as well. It's gonna feel like stim though. It's an extra shot. Do you know what stim does? It's nothing like stim. Just because they have rifles and they have an ability, that doesn't make them the same. Alright, Atlas, we went through that. So we're not gonna go through that again. Evac Transport, transfer ships that pick up and drop off allied units, including a deployed Atlas to reposition them strategically or whisk them away from danger. Okay, so this answers my question. So there was a period in StarCraft where you could lift up sieged up tanks with medevacs, drop them and shoot. So I guess you can do this with Atlas. Now this is... I cannot see this not being really strong. I cannot see this not being too strong. A good player microing multiple Atlas, you will never be able to kill it. But we'll see. So yeah, Evac Transport, it's not like a medevac, it's not gonna heal. I'm assuming it's not gonna have any other abilities, it's just a drop-off. We're already balance winding, yeah. Vulcan, this mech has a Gatling gun that spins up to deal increased damage. Okay, I didn't know that. I know that it shoots in a kind of like in a line and deals damage to like 3-4 units at the same time as long as in the line. But I didn't know they kind of spin up like Tychus from Heroes of the Storm, and that they deal increased damage over time. I guess the longer they are probably attacking. The Jump Jet's upgrade, so it is an upgrade, allows the Vulcan to reposition in combat and can stun any enemies in its way. Can also be used to clear out trees, which is what we saw in the gameplay video. Fires piercing rounds, you can punch through multiple units in a straight line, dealing damage to all of them. And now we got the building. So these are the units that are revealed so far, and there will be more units, but there's no information on them right now. Featured human structures. Command post produces B.O.B worker units. Now this is going to be, obviously, you know, it's a main base. Upgrades to central command to unlock access to tier 2 units. So I was talking about this during the PC Gamer show, where there was like a you know, a thing you can press that looks like an upgrade to your command post. So I guess I was right about that. It does upgrade and it goes to tier 2 and tier 3. And I'm assuming these units, because it says upgrades to central to unlock access to tier 2 units, tier 3 coming soon. So, which means that this would be the tier 1 units. So the Scout, Lancer, EXO, and Medtech is probably tier 2. I'm assuming the first 3 are tier 1, obviously Worker as well. And then Medtech, Atlas, Evac, and Vulcan are tier 2 units. And then tier 3 units are yet to come, which I am assuming they're doing at least 2 up to 3. I don't think they're going to do 4 tier 3. 4 tier 3 would be, I mean, maybe, I don't know. The command post can trigger an overcharge on nearby B.O.B units, temporarily diverting power to combat systems, attack speed, and armor. Okay, so that's the ability that we saw on the command post. That you could see the command post has energy or mana or whatever they're calling it. I'm not sure. Power, I don't know. But yeah, you can basically overcharge your B.O.Bs so they're more, you know, being able to fight. Habitat, that's a supply depot or house, increases supply. You must build these to expand your army. Barracks produces tier 1 units such as Scout, Lancer, EXO, and Medtech. Okay, so Medtech is tier 1. Interesting. Mech Bay produces production facility for the Vulcan, Atlas, and more. Okay, so Mech Bay is like a factory or stables, I guess. Ethereum refinery, secondary resource drop-off, and research for various passive upgrades. Okay, so I'm assuming they're... If it's a secondary resource drop-off, it might be having economic upgrades inside of it. Biokinetics lab, research upgrades for infantry such as Lancer shields. Machine lab, research upgrades for mechanical and air units, as a conveyor belt. That's important, obviously. What are you going to do without conveyor belts? And then sentry turret targets ground and air, provides some peace of mind. Those are the defensive turrets. So all those things are now out, and I'm assuming as you know, as stuff goes, as stuff happens, they will be probably revealing more units, more gameplay videos, more details, and so on and so forth. The alpha is next month, and I will be playing in the alpha. I cannot stream it, I cannot record videos, so before people ask me, I can't, even if I wanted to. Let me show you guys once again the gameplay video in case you have missed it from the PC Gamer Show. This is just a super HD version of it, and this is on their YouTube channel, of course, so you can obviously watch it there as well. So this is what I mean. You can see the Atlas looks a bit, I don't know if it's just me, but it looks a bit different, doesn't it? Than in the video that I just showed you guys. But you can see the med guys are healing, both infantry and mechs. And the scout, by the way, it seems that it will not be just only scouting. It might be also used to engage units and kind of attack units out of position. Because when scouts, which are these dogos, when they attack, they slow down the enemy. So, yeah. Now, this is how you would deal with Atlas right here. This is what I mean. Like, Atlas... Oh, it seems that you can also do walls, by the way. Or at least, maybe not a full wall, but at least a semi-wall. So you can see Atlas in the top shooting at the ramp, just kind of to deflect the opponent. And you can just pick up some units, drop them off the top. Oh my god, did you see the damage? I actually didn't see this one. Did you see the damage? Look at the friendly fire. Jesus.
Hi guys, this is TLO. Obviously played RTS my entire life, so it's been a real privilege for me to be one of the first people to try out Stormgate. Really stoked about this match against Kevin. Think I'm gonna do some light harass in the early game and then just try to overwhelm him with a massive amount of macro.
So you can see the minimap, what the map is gonna be like. There's gonna be, obviously, we've seen creep camps. Creep camps are gonna be doing different things, providing different things for you. And you spawn, I'm not actually sure if you spawn with a scout. I would assume you do. And you can see the workers 7 out of 12. So this is the efficiency thing we were talking about earlier. So the action, if you look,
hi, my name is Kevin.
It's 2 minutes already, and they're building units and attacking and moving across the map and so on and so forth. So the action is going to be pretty much instant. They said that you start with scout.
And I work on gameplay and balance on Stormgate. Today, I'll be trying a fast expansion build, and then I'll try to tech to higher tier units to defend whatever TLO throws at me.
Okay, so this is what we were discussing earlier with the tree line. If you look at this tree line, there's clearly space for the units to move through, right? You can clearly see that there is space. In the one that Atlas was destroying earlier, there was no space in between. Like, you can clearly see the units can move through there. Which would mean that Atlas can destroy any forest. And Bob's got quite a bit of health, or armor, I guess, once they're empowered by the main base.
He did a lot of worker damage there, so I'm at a pretty bad economic disadvantage. I'm gonna have to try some really sneaky tactics, maybe getting an upgrade TLO isn't familiar with, perhaps maybe even luckily creepjacking him.
I really like the that they have blood in the game. I know maybe that's weird, but okay, these are the stuns. He gets the chicken. I hope they keep the chicken. I love it. So you can kind of see, also the dropship does have pickup range It's not like StarCraft 2 Medevac where you almost have to be on top of it. It's more like a war prison. Look at the range. So I think there's gonna be a lot of dropship micro. And considering how smooth...
Looking forward to hopefully dealing the finishing blow against Hammond here. I'll attack again from the right side through the light trees, but this time we'll bring in a larger force from the left side as well. And I think I'll be able to out-micro him here. He has a more static mech army, I believe, and my bio unit should be able to touch all the tech shots, get in there, and have a pretty smooth path of attack here.
Like, to me, what it seems like is the dropship micro will be heavily used in the game. Because when we had this in StarCraft, where you can pick up siege tanks, and you can kind of micro them, drop them off, and you know, all of that, they were heavily used. Like, the gameplay was all around that. So that's something that's going to be interesting to see how it kind of develops, because in the hands of good players, you will not be able to kill an Atlas at all, ever. So we'll see. We will see how that works out. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these. I hope you enjoyed the music for the human faction, enjoyed the Atlas, and like I said, I'm sure we're going to have more news in the upcoming months for probably tier 3 units, maybe seeing some like maps or you know, more art, more music, whatever. And hopefully eventually seeing the Infernal faction as well, because I'm probably going to be playing Infernal faction. Again, if you guys want, you can always wishlist Stormgate on Steam, and if you want to play, to have a chance to play beta, go on their website, just search Stormgate, you'll find it, and you can apply for a chance to get a key. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Check me out on Twitch. I'm probably live right now. If you're watching on Twitch, let's keep going.